best paste mix I've found after months and months and months of practicing is a mixture between the Ringer's Meaty Red method mix and the Copped Up Angling Krill method ground bait. Now this isn't, well, it's a bit important, but it's not crucial. But basically you want a bit more of the cod duck than the Ringer's. So I don't know if you can see that, if it's coming up on camera, but I guess it's 3/5 to 2/5. Yeah, I'll possibly put a little bit more meaty red than I should have done. So if I, like that, yeah, that's the ideal mix. And then put your lid on, shake it up, add water. Now remember, this needs to be done ideally about an hour before, because it only sticks to your hook. It doesn't stick to your hook immediately. And you wet it slightly over wet, but not sloppy like some guys do. This mix, because it's got big grains in it, it doesn't need to be sloppy. You'll see what I mean. I'll show you. You keep adding water till you get to the point where it starts to ball up like that. You start to get balls like that. So it's becoming firm, but it doesn't still feel like over wet or anything like that, right? And when you get to this point, before you add a bit more water, just make sure there's no, don't keep squeezing. Remember, it's got granules in, and this is a different kind of paste than the norm. Normally people say you want it sieved and you want to work it in till it's all. This one you don't. I want the granules. I want it all like coarse, if you like. Yeah. So don't keep grinding. Just make sure there's no dry parts. Then you add a tiny bit more water, right? I'll have to put my phone down. Then you add a little bit of water, bit at a time, till you see now it's kind of becoming pasty. It's not bally. It's sort of like all coming together, and it's feeling wet, right? Now you stop. And all you do is don't overwork it. I say don't mush the life out of it, which is not what we want. Just make sure it's consistent all the way through. You don't want any kind of dry pasta. And when you get to that stage, put it all to one side, because now what we're going to do is add 1/6 of pellets. So whatever that is, well, let's try and squash it down to that. So it's 4, yeah, so that's 4. This is the easiest way to do it. That's 4. That remaining gap there is 2. Yeah. So, and your pellets obviously need to be ready. You know, they need to be 3/4 of an hour or an hour old. Yeah, not frozen maggots. This paste, so in actual fact it's not a ratio of 4 to 2. It's more like 7 to 2, isn't it? But anyway, that's what you want. Can you see that? Mix it all up. Again, try to get all the pellets mixed in evenly, but without overworking the life out of it. Yeah, then lay it flat and leave it. Right, what you do, break off small thumb size, just squeeze it a couple of times, as I say, look at the pellets in there, and flatten it out a tad, so then it becomes thumb size. Like now it is thumb size. 14 hoop on a band, and the reason I use the band, I think it helps keep the paste on. Squash it in like that, fold it over the hook, and just then nip it around the top of the line if you can. Did you see that? Yeah, and now we're good to go. So try and do a cast. One, and I'll tell you what, we're fishing close in, so just we are live. Done. We have got a fish on the paste. This rod, by the way, it's absolutely cracking. It was only 9 quid. It's a Shakespeare Challenge XT. It is bonkersly good. And look at the curve on that. And look, it's only a little tiny fish. Now this has just been done. Yeah. So I'm not going to put it down where the fish is. I deliberately don't want to bite. So what I'm going to do, just to show you how well it stays on, even new, I'm just going to put it down here in the water and bring it out every couple of minutes, and you'll see. So like a normal paste now would be breaking down. Alright, if you're catching fish it doesn't matter, you know, but sometimes you don't, oh I've just had a little bit of a bite there, believe it or not. You don't know if your paste's on, which is a pain in the neck, so you're in and out all the time just to make sure your paste's on. Whereas this paste that I've developed, you know the paste's on, you just know that it's on. And this is just fresh, by the way, you know what I mean. I developed this from my feeder fishing, because when you're feeder fishing you obviously need a paste that stays on, absolutely do. You know, it's not only that, it's hitting the water, it's not in the in like a hybrid feeder, sort of like it's loose, you know. So I used to fish it with me hybrid feeder, but look, loose, still on. So that's how I developed it. So you can actually use this for feeder fishing. Just getting a bite there, look. We're getting a bite. I'll pull it out because we don't actually want a bite. I'm trying to show you how long this paste will stay on. And this is new. This isn't even, you know, it takes about 35 minutes for it to become really into its own, like proper sticky type of thing. I'm getting a bite again. You know, something's had half me paste, look. Itchy nose. Yeah, still on. I've been fishing down here to my reeds, I'm getting a fishy chuck. Oh, it would pop a good bite that one. See that? I say I don't wanna strike it. I'm trying to show you, see what I mean, look? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get a fish now for you, look. I'll put it down there, look, can you see that? We're in. So it was in the water all that time. Half of it got took away by bites, and recasted it in a few times, and we still caught the fish. That's how good this paste is. And I say this is freshly mixed. It gets even better. The only time you add water, by the way, it's kind of important that you get the mix right. Look at this rod for a little waggler rod. It's only a little, look at the little tiny cap, look at the rod, beautiful. Shakespeare Challenge XT 10-foot pellet feeder. Anyway, let's get this fish sorted out and I'll talk to you. There's another reason why I developed this kind of different paste. I'm a bit of a clean angler. I don't like getting all bloody paste all over me. I don't know. Maybe it shouldn't be. I'm in the wrong hobby, but I don't like getting all bloody clarty, you know. And this is about the worst I ever get here, because it's quite dry. It's not sloppy. You don't get any over the reel. Look how clean the reel is. You know, don't get much over the rod. So if you're that kind of angler, if you're kind of angler, said to yourself, oh, I'm not going to do paste because it's just a clart on. This might be for you. Have a go. As I say, it's nothing clarty about it really. make yourself a little beef burger, push it in, fold it over. Tend to just nip it gently at the top of the line. Don't keep squeezing it and squeezing it because you'll undo it. Yeah, just squeeze it and then stop, you know. Don't really, you know. I see guys squeezing it and squeeze it. You'd actually make it worse. You'd over squeeze it. Oh God, it didn't even get to the bottom there. That's how much these fish are loving it. Look, I better use my landing net on this one. What is he? A nice little roach, look, catching everything. Floats just off that reed. We are in, gang. We are in. Come on, trying to get into these weeds. Only a little thing. Well, look at this. Look at this rod, look. How's about that? Having a good scrap here, yeah. That's a little carp we've just caught. I don't know what size, but so lovely, the fish in here. You know, and the fight's so good for the size. Right, for the feeder fishing, nothing's different. I've got my same hook, Guru, XM1, size 12 I believe it is. Remember, it's got a band on, look. Nothing's changed. Normally I have a wafter on there. Bit smaller than a thumb. That's what you're after. Same as now, just a couple of squeezes, get it a little bit pliable, squeeze it into a beef burger shape, put the hook over, squash it down. Doesn't come any easier. Scoop my pellets, squeeze them in, put the paste on the top. With my hand, you can try and do it so you can see that. Just gently squeeze. So it's actually a gentle squeeze. It sort of went between them. You can see, look, it went between them two fingers. Now all I'm going to do now is got the paste in between the two fingers. Just gently squeeze down and try not to pull it off. That'll do. Doesn't matter if it comes off, remember. It doesn't really matter. By doing it this way, we're making sure the hook isn't landing into debris. Put in. You're seeing a Frankenstein rod at its best here. I'm going to have to put my phone down to reel in a bit. There's a guy over there watching me. Yeah, Frankenstein rod. It's actually, believe it or not, a specimen rod. It's absolutely unbelievable. So it looks like we've caught a little carp on paste on a feeder. How's about that? It doesn't get any better. He's not a bad little mirror carp, I think. Yeah. Nice little mirror carp. Just rod bent right round, and look at his was 10.5, 11 inches. Amazing rod, absolutely amazing. Yeah, so there you go. Tony's paste on a feeder, or float fishing, and it won't fall off. I guarantee you it won't come off. And this is the other good thing about this, you know, you can get like double, treble, just a delicate squeeze. Deadly. This is why I think it's so effective. It just, the whole thing, it helps each other, and they just go mad for it. I mean, well, look at that. They just go mad for it.